Hello students, warm welcome. Class 12, English. Yes, in the previous class we had seen Unit 1, Prose, Two Gentlemen of Verona, part 1 of the story, and today we are going to see the rest of the story, that is part 2. Okay, yes, we had seen till the two boys and the narrator's conversation, that those two boys were asking for the narrator to make them visit the country Poleta. So the narrator had given the driver Sunday off, so he decided that he can take those two boys to that country by himself. Okay, yes, now we will move into the story. There was a pause, and Niccolo was glaring at his younger brother in vexation. And Niccolo told, "We could not think of troubling you, sir." And suddenly narrator replied, "It won't be any trouble." Then he bit his lip, then in a rather put one tone, he said, "Very well." The following afternoon, the narrator and the two boys drove to the tiny village set upon the hillside. He imagined that their destination would be some humble dwellings, but directed by Jacob, they drew up at a large red roofed villa surrounded by a high stone wall. He could scarcely believe his eyes, and before he could recover breath, the two passengers had leaped from the car. That is, the Niccolo and Jacob had got down from the car. And they told, "We shall not be long, sir. Perhaps only an hour. Maybe you would like to go to a cafe in the village for a drink." They disappeared beyond the corner of the wall. Okay, they told like this and they went. After a few minutes, the narrator followed those boys. He found a grilled side entrance and determinedly rang the bell. A pleasant looking woman with steel rimmed spectacles appeared. He blinked as he saw that she was dressed in the white uniform of a trained nurse. "He just brought two small boys here," he told the nurse. Nurse replied, "Ah, yes." Her face lit up. She opened the door to admit him. "Niccolo and Jacob, I will take you up," she told, and she led him through a cool tiled vestibule in the hospital. For hospital the villa had become. At the door of a little cubicle, the nurse paused, put her fingers to her lips, and with a smile bade the narrator look through the glass partition. The two boys were seated at the beside of a girl of about 20, that is her age, who propped up on pillows, wearing a pretty lace jacket, was listening to their chatter. Her eyes soft and tender. One could see at a glance her resemblance to her brothers. Yes, they all the three were looking same. A vase of wild flowers stood on her table besides a dish of fruit and several books. "Won't you go in?" the nurse murmured. "Lucia will be pleased to see you." The narrator shook his head and turned away. He felt he could not bear to intrude upon his happy family party. But at the foot of the staircase, he drew up and begged the nurse to tell him all she knew about these boys. The nurse was eager to do so. They were. She started to explain. Yes, what happened finally? The narrator asked about those two boys and her sister Lucia, who was lying in the hospital bed. And the nurse started explaining about those two boys and her sister. Okay, quite alone in the world except for their sister Lucia. Their father, a widower, a well-known singer, had been killed in the early part of the war. Shortly afterward, a bomb destroyed their home and thrown the three children into the streets. They had always known a comfortable and cultured life. Lucia had herself been training as a singer, and they had suffered horribly from near starvation and exposure to the cold winter. For months, they had barely kept themselves alive in a sort of shelter they built with their own hands amidst the rubble. Rubble means broken bricks. Okay. Then for 3 years, the Germans ruled the city. The boys grew to hate the Germans. When the resistance movement began secretly to form, they were among the first to join. When the war was over and we had peace at last, finally the war is over, those two boys came back to their sister. Okay? Yes. When the war was over and they had peace at last, they came back to their beloved sister and they found her. She is suffering from tuberculosis of the spine. After saying all these things, the nurse passed and took a quick breath. Did they give up? Asked the narrator. I do not have to answer that question. They brought her, that is, the two boys brought her here, persuaded the doctor and nurse to take her into the hospital. In the 12 months she has been their patient, she had made good progress. There is every hope that one day she will walk and sing again. Of course, everything is so difficult now. Food so scarce and dear, we could not keep going unless we charged a fee. But every week, Lucia's brother had made their payment. She added simply. The nurse didn't know what they do and she did not ask. Work is scarce in Verona, but whatever it is, they know they do it well. Yes, I agree, the narrator told. They could do it better. After all these things, the narrator waited outside until the boys rejoined him. And after they arrived, then they drew them back to the city. They sat beside the narrator, not speaking. From the narrator's part, he did not say a word. He knew they would prefer to feel that they had safely kept their secret. Yet their devotion had touched the narrator deeply. War had not broken their spirit. Their selfless action brought a new nobility to human life, gave promise of a greater hope for human society. Yes, that's it. So, the two boys had kept the secret from the narrator. They were helping and doing all sort of works only for their beloved sister who was suffering from the disease tuberculosis of the spine. Okay, so these two boys were working very hard to save her. So, with this, the entire story ends. I hope you all have understood the story. So, the relationship between the sister and the two brothers is being shown beautifully in this story. Okay, I hope you all have understood. Write the notes of the story in your English classwork note without fail and send the photocopy to your respective class teachers. Thank you.